tó ara ò ní tán lé alára o a tún ti gbé mi ìdè gẹ́gẹ́ bí ìṣe tiwa. Èyí tí mo wá gbédè yìí ọ̀rọ̀ tó ní ṣe pẹ̀lú ohun tó ń ṣẹlẹ̀ láwọn agbègbè àti láwọn ìpínlẹ̀ kọ̀ọ̀kan ni. Bó bá ti yá yín àròyé ẹnu tèmi kọ́ lẹ fẹ́ gbọ́, ẹ já lọ gbọ́rọ̀ lẹ́nu àwọn tó ní ìṣẹ̀lẹ̀ yìí. Bàbá wa padà dé ká tẹ̀síwájú lórí ètò ó ti yá.
The point of departure here is that the courts have set Nnamdi Kanu free, right? So if he is a political prisoner or criminal, then it is the duty of the court to say so loud and clear. But the Court of Appeal, in its wisdom, has said to Nnamdi Kanu, go home and sin no more, if he had sinned. But then the voice of the people, they say, the voice of God. Everybody has spoken from the east, from the west, from the north. People are speaking, saying, let him be, so that there can be some peace in that region. Recently, we saw the release of Sunday Igboho. Maybe that will help the Southwest. It is believed that it will help. And we can see that some of the crises in the Southwest had reduced. So if we have such people in all the zones and we think and feel they can help the zones to get out of the state of insecurity, so be it. And I think that's really the point we are making here. I mean, Nnamdi Kanu has been in incarceration now going to about 5 years. He should not be allowed to just go there and lavish for nothing.
Right. Well, let me just come in there because
if there is a case, if there's a case, they should go and pursue the case in court effectively.
Well, I mean,
but then he has been freed by the court of law.
Yeah, I mean, they would argue that they're pursuing the case, but as you pointed out, a court has to a large extent quashed at least some of the charges against Mr. Kanu. Do you think that that gives, because oftentimes we hear the presidents, I mean, we heard Buhari say that quite a lot, that the courts the law must take its course, and the courts, it's up to the courts and so on. Do you think that that quashing of some of the charges gives the president and the attorney general the legal basis for getting Mr. Kanu out? That's the legal, if you like, opt-out clause that can legally justify Mr. Kanu's release?
I do believe, Charles, and I'm serious about this, if you remove that dot in the circle and you think about the urgency in putting an end to the state of insecurity in a particular zone, I believe that between the Commander-in-Chief and the Attorney General of the Federation, an amicable resolution of this matter can be achieved. And it comes to, you know, a win-win situation for all sides. Now, I saw a report earlier today that Mazin Nnamdi Kanu says he's willing to abide by whatever rules and regulations are given to him for his release. I'm also sure that the governors of the Southeast, working hand in gloves with Ohaneze, will be prepared to take to go into some undertakings about, you know, the situation with Mazin Nnamdi Kanu when released.
Right. Well, I'm just going to come in there briefly. How do we know, Senator Obi, that Nnamdi Kanu still has the capacity to rein in his followers and members of IPOD? Because, I mean, everybody keeps saying that if he's released, it will lessen insecurity in the Southeast. I mean, he could potentially have lost his place in the movement, and therefore any you know, I mean, any clout that he can wield in terms of influence may not be there anymore.
Well, I happen to know that when the President General of Ohanese, Chief Engineer Emmanuel Iwayo, was going to visit with Nnamdi Kanu, he had called me to accompany him, but unfortunately I was not in the country, so I did not accompany him. I couldn't accompany him as a result of that. But like I said, when a child is crying and pointing the finger in one direction, it's either the father or the mother of that child is there. So when everybody is saying, let Nnamdi Kanu be released, be put out of the hook, so that there can be a decrease in the insecurity in the Southeast, they cannot all be saying something wrong. There must be something what they are saying and what they are seeing. So
you don't.
It's not that Nnamdi Kanu. It's not that Nnamdi Kanu 100% will solve the state of insecurity in the Southeast, but he will contribute immensely.
Right. So you don't
in
think
resolving
that
the state of insecurity.
Right. You don't think that the converse might be the case, and we're just playing the devil's advocate here. You don't think the converse might be the case that his release might serve to reinforce the ideology of his followers and perhaps reignite their secessionist agitations?
Well, Nnamdi Kanu is human. He has gone through these years of incarceration, and I'm sure it's a lesson. I'm also sure those who are agitating maybe are doing so still because Nnamdi Kanu is still under incarceration. By the time we all agree and work together and we'll have all hands on deck and we are all on the same page, it surely will be an easier approach to the problems. But since we are singing from different directions now, that's the problem. So I believe in moving forward, let us all be on the same page. Let us agree with what the elder statesmen have said from across the country. Let us agree with what the Pandef, Afenifere, Ohanese, and the Southeast Governors Forum have said, and walk in that direction.
Right.
Let's give it a try.
Right. And I presume that's what they're trying to do. But talking about those Southeast governors, is it your sense that they have the negotiating capacity and the clout? Because I mean, this is now, I mean, they're trying to put it basically at the foot of President Tinubu. Is it your sense that they have the negotiating capacity and the clout to really move this issue forward and get it to the top of the president's in tray?
Well, I believe that having reached this point where they have made this pronouncement and knowing full well that the Southeast has been saying, requesting for the release of Nnamdi Kanu, they are governing us. They are our governors. They are not an island unto themselves. Some of us have direct links and contacts with them. So we believe that now that they have come out to make a specific demand for the release of Nnamdi Kanu, we all must work together, hands in gloves, with Ohanese, which is the governing body of Ndi Igbo home and in diaspora, to do the needful. And to believe that Nnamdi Kanu too, as the true son of Igbo land, will listen to what the leaders are saying and also join us in doing what is right. What is important and very, very key is that we need to address the state of insecurity in the Southeast. And in addressing the state of insecurity from my own knowledge and experience means that we all have to be on the same page. That is the bottom line.
Okay, Senator Ben Obi, I want to thank you very much indeed for joining us and for being very forthright in expressing your opinion and your assessment there. And also, I wish you speedy recovery, because I know you're a little bit under the weather there. But of course, Senator Ben Obi is the former vice presidential running mate to Atiku Abubakar in 2007, and he's also the chairman of the governing council of the American University of Nigeria. Thank you very much.